Good morning. Welcome into today's episode of Hoops Talk with Dave. I'm your host, Dave Smith, here with you on Friday, March the 7th. We are now single-digit days away from Selection Sunday, 9 days away, and it feels like March. Tons of mid-major conference tournament action going on. Teams losing their seasons each and every day at this point in the year. Upsets happening across college basketball. It's incredible to watch. And I know typically Friday morning is your full weekend preview, but in the spirit of March, that means we do more here, more madness, more fun. Tomorrow morning will be your full weekend preview episode. This morning, we're going to stick with some great action we've got today, as well as recap some action from yesterday. Starting in the Patriot League, some outstanding games here in the quarterfinals. I'll run through these results. Bucknell survives Loyola in overtime, 76-72. American takes down Lafayette, 71-69. Navy on the road at Boston U. They beat them 86-78. Navy is my Patriot League champion. They looked great last night on the road. Only road victory in this conference, and that, of course, means Colgate ran away from Army 84-55. Over to the Atlantic Sun semifinals. North Alabama handled Jacksonville. Jacksonville made this one close late in Florence, but UNA runs away with it, wins it by 15, 78-63. And Lipscomb suffered quite the scare against Queens. And if Queens would have won this game, we would have had our first ticket punch last night. Unfortunately, they did not. For them, Lipscomb, the 1 seed in the Atlantic Sun, survives. They win 81-75 in overtime. Queens had a chance to win it in regulation, unable to do so. Lipscomb outlasts them in overtime. That sets up your Atlantic Sun final on Sunday afternoon. North Alabama at Lipscomb in Nashville, Tennessee. Coverage on ESPN2. The tip-off for that one will be 2 p.m. Eastern on Sunday. We'll have more about that tomorrow on your full weekend preview. Only one top 25 team in action last night. Michigan State, number 8 Michigan State, taking on Iowa, the Hawkeyes. The Spartans went on the road into Iowa and beat them 91-84, but don't let that score fool you. Iowa was in control for a vast majority of the game. They just hit a bad stretch in the second half. Michigan State went on a 25-6 run in the second half, ended up pulling away. Iowa made it closer late, unable to come over the top there. Tom Izzo and Michigan State looking great, looking like a 2 seed right now. They win this one 91-84. Two fun tournaments that got started yesterday. The Missouri Valley Conference and the West Coast Conference got started yesterday. These are both potentially multi-bid leagues. Exciting times there. Southern Illinois outlast Indiana State 86-85. Illinois State beat Missouri State 70-54. Those were your daytime games. And then last night, Murray State outlasted Evansville 74-53. And then your late night game in the Missouri Valley, Valparaiso against Illinois Chicago. They take them down 67-50. What a great upset for Valpo there. Looking to continue the momentum into today. And let's get to today's games, why don't we? Because we've got a lot of great teams in action, a lot of really good mid-major teams in action, and it all starts at noon. That's right, noon Eastern today, with a really, really fun team to watch. High Point playing host to Gardner-Webb. High Point possesses one of the best offenses in all of college basketball. They'll be looking to bring their 26-5 record into this. This is one of these teams that would not really qualify for an at-large spot if they were to lose in their conference tournament, so they still have to win out. They'll take on 11-19 Gardner-Webb. High Point, since it's a 14.5-point home favorite. Once again, tip-off will be on your lunch break at noon Eastern on ESPN+. Southern Illinois against Drake, tip-off at 1 p.m. Eastern. Talk about some college basketball going all day today. Drake, a team that I think will make it if they lose in the conference tournament. I don't think they lose today, though. I've got them losing the championship game to Bradley. I've got Bradley winning the Missouri Valley. Drake has definitely had a good enough season to get in as an at-large. They take on Southern Illinois in St. Louis today. The Bulldogs, 9.5-point favorites. Tip-off for that one once again on ESPN Plus at 1 Eastern. And speaking of Bradley, tonight they'll take on Murray State, the Racers. Bradley, only a 4.5-point favorite on a neutral site. Tip-off for that one is estimated to be 7 p.m. Eastern on ESPN Plus. Also at 7 p.m. on ESPN2. A great one in the Atlantic 10 tonight. This is just regular season action, but it's still a great basketball game between two teams vying for position and vying for seeding. Dayton on the road at VCU. Virginia Commonwealth sits as a 8.5-point favorite over the Dayton Flyers. Tip-off for that one once again, 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern on ESPN2. And we do have a couple of ranked teams in action tonight, 8 o'clock Eastern on Fox. Illinois playing host to number 18 Purdue. The Illini sit as a 4.5-point favorite. And over into the AAC, 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern on ESPN2. The Memphis Tigers playing host to South Florida. And South Florida gave them a scare earlier this year. This was on the road for Memphis. Memphis at home for this one. The Tigers will be looking to bounce back. They're a 13.5-point favorite. Some conference tournament semifinal action tonight. Little Rock taking on SEMO or Southeast Missouri in the Ohio Valley Conference semifinals. Tip-off at 8 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2. Southeast Missouri, a 1.5-point favorite, but that line is just about even for you there. Should be a really fun one to watch. Tip-off once again at 8 o'clock. And then 30 minutes after the finish of that one, our second semifinal, Tennessee State taking on Southern Illinois University in Edwardsville, better known as SIUE. SIUE sits as a 2.5-point favorite. Tip-off is estimated for 10:30 p.m. Eastern. It's just also on ESPNU. So if you got a TV on ESPNU, just stay tuned to it there. It'll come on for you. And then a late night Mountain West showdown. Back to some regular season action here. Colorado State, Boise State. Give me the Rams. I like the Rams on the road against the Broncos. The Broncos, however, 5.5-point favorites at home. Tip-off for that one, 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern on Fox Sports 1. And I must say, as we come to a close here, that I am very jealous of everybody that's on the West Coast right now in that Pacific time zone. I'm in the Eastern time zone. So I'm thinking about if I'm on the West Coast right now, I could have High Point playing at 9 a.m. I could have basketball all day long. On the flip side of that, though, when you got the primetime games at 4 p.m., I guess it feels a little different there. You haven't left work yet, and you've got the primetime games coming on. So there's pros and there's cons. I'll stick with my Eastern time zone, but just know on a day like today, I'm jealous of my West Coast folks out there. And that'll do it for today's episode of Hoops Talk with Dave. I'll be back to you tomorrow morning for a full weekend preview. Got a lot of great stuff going on for you. Be sure to check out these mid-major teams today, because somebody who wins today will also win a game in March. I'll guarantee it. Either it's High Point, Drake, Bradley, doesn't matter who it is, somebody will win you a game in March. Make sure you're picking them when they do. Have a great Friday, everybody. I'll be back with you tomorrow morning. My name's Dave Smith. Be sure to follow me on X at Dave Smith NBA. Enjoy your Friday. I'll talk to you tomorrow.